How to deal with musical jealousy and envy as a music composer. After all, we're only human, and from time to time, we're gonna be experiencing some kind of jealousy or some kind of envy of somebody else's music. And depending where we are in our journey as a music composer and doing music licensing, you might find yourself looking up to people who have already put in a lot of work. They have already had a certain level of success. The truth of the matter is that there are always going to be people that are better than you, and there are always going to be people that are worse than you. And that's just the nature of how things are, okay? The sooner we accept this, the more free we're going to be to create music. Now, I suffer from this in the early stages of my career, of course. I was really checking out a lot what the best sellers in old music libraries, especially the Naughty Jungle, were doing, and try to compare myself to them and to what they are accomplishing and how they write their music. Now, this is really toxic for many reasons, especially in the beginning stages, because it just feeds a lot of insecurity and a lot of self-doubt and a lot of some feelings that are not really good for you as a creative being. And it certainly doesn't help the comparison game. And stop comparing yourself to somebody else's work or somebody else's music. It's better to just admire somebody's work, and just you're gonna feel a little bit of jealousy and envy because of the sound that they're able to produce. You're gonna feel that, okay, they are successful, and you might not be there yet, and you probably will never be there, but you can still enjoy your own level of success. And that's very important, because you are a unique individual. We are all unique when it comes down to not only as human beings, but as well as a creative person. So even if you wanted to copy somebody else's work or replicate somebody else's music track, the truth of the matter is that it's never going to sound the same. It's not going to sound the same as that other person's, and you're definitely not going to achieve the same level of success. You're going to be so miserable in the process, because you're trying to not only compare yourself to somebody else's work, but you're trying to measure your own success and the ability to have success that you can have with your music with somebody else's work. And at the end of the day, when we talk about jealousy of somebody else's musical work, or the ability that they have to express themselves with music, it really comes down from an ego place. It comes from a place of we feel entitled to that success. We feel entitled that maybe the world is not fair, and how come they are able to express all of these musical ideas, and to make it worse for ourselves, they're being really successful, and and how come we are not experiencing that? How come we are not really getting that? And the reality is that that comes from a place of ego, that you're hurt from deep within. You're undermining your own self and your own ability to be a unique creative individual. And the best thing to do is to actually recognize that the other person, first of all, it is more successful than you, and that's perfectly fine. The other person is creating music that you're not able to create, and that's perfectly fine too, and you can learn from that. You will always have a little bit of jealousy. You will always try to pick on the negative, because that comes from the ego, okay? But if you really feel like it's not letting you sleep at night, you should actually make peace with it within yourself, and actually try to mentally send a compliment to that person and say, that music track is bloody amazing. It's really good. I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you managed to compose that, to produce that, but it sounds really good. And if you can reach out via message or via email, even better. You will be acknowledging that their work they're doing is really good, that you acknowledge it, and you're actually, it's almost like an antidote for this jealousy that you feel. Now, I've been in that space many times, and from time to time I come across this type of feelings again and again and again. I'm only human. I'm like you. The way you combat this, and this is what professionals do, you get down to work. You keep on working on your music. You keep on working on your craft. You don't have time to check out what other people are doing. That's what professionals do. Professionals just get down to work and try to improve their craft. They try to improve their skills, and they're always learning. And they understand that there will always be somebody that is ahead of them, and there will always be somebody that is behind them. That's the way it is, okay? You cannot fight this. This is almost like a natural law that there will always be somebody older than you and there will always be somebody younger than you. It's exactly the same thing. Where do you fit in the universe, in this equation, or in this cosmic creative world? It's up to you to decide if you can live with it or not, and find peace within that you are doing the best you can, and that there's somebody that is behind you looking to be like you. And once you understand that, you feel like you're okay in your own skin, you're okay with your own abilities. And that's why I always say as well to focus on your strength, because it's the only thing that makes you not only a unique individual, but at the same time it will make you feel that you have something to say, that you have something to give. Okay, I go back to the same thing. I'm a guitar player. All right, I'm not Jimi Hendrix, but I'm a guitar player, and I find peace with my own abilities. I find that I can have something to give, I have something to show, and I can contribute in my own way with my instrument. And if you're not a guitar player, you are something else. You can be a piano player. I have many friends of mine who play the piano, and you know, I always wanted to play the piano, but I don't have that level. But that doesn't mean that I cannot start learning, and doesn't mean that I'm gonna look up to another guy and say, look at him, he's such an amazing piano player, and you know, he sucks, or his work is not really that good. When the reality is that it's really, really good, and I can learn from that. Acknowledge that the feelings of jealousy and envy from a creative perspective is normal, but I have to examine as well, where is it coming from. And usually it's coming from a place of ego and from a place of insecurities, my own insecurities. We all have them, and we all have to do our own homework when it comes down to, why are we feeling like this? Why are we feeling like that? Why are we so unhappy? Why are we not really creative enough? And the reality is that the more you focus on your own work, the more that you focus on what you want to create, what you want to learn from these emotions, and learn from this type of experiences of, why am I feeling so jealous, you know? And try to learn from that, try to replicate that work in your own way. Don't try to copy somebody else. The only thing that you're fighting, and the only thing that you're running away from, is your uniqueness, because we are all unique. We are all, there's not somebody else like you, okay? And when you realize that, you can free yourself of all of these negative emotions, that if you stay there long enough, it becomes almost like a loop, and you can't get out of there. And you could definitely not start working, you can definitely not start making music, because you're just always constantly checking what somebody else has. You're always constantly checking what the other person is producing and seeing how much success they have. And it's not a very healthy place to be as a creative being, because you're not being creative yourself. And when you do become a little bit creative, you start to copy that other person, or persons for the matter, and you cannot really express yourself. So again, very quickly, exercise. Once you find yourself feeling this kind of emotions towards somebody or a group of people or other people's music, try to acknowledge that it's a normal feeling, but at the same time, what can you learn from it? And try to send them, I know this sounds a little bit woo-woo out there, but try to send them a little mental compliment and say, that's really good work. And if you can reach them out, and if you have the guts to reach out to people and just send them a message, you know, or an email, and say, or through social media, like, hey man, that music track really rocks, it's really amazing. And you will feel better immediately. There's a really good antidote for that, but you have to feel it, you know, you have to really feel and say, hey, I put my ego on the side, this is really good work, maybe one day I can accomplish that in my own way, okay, without trying to copy that person. And the other thing that it will work like wonders is to just carry on your own path, okay? The professionals, they just worry about their own work. They're not threatened by somebody else's work, ever, okay? Everybody can be a musician, everybody could have success, and everybody can shine in their own way. Just always remember that. But you can always go back to your music. You can always go back to your creative space. This is my creative space. This desk right here, this is my dojo, like they say in martial arts. And this is mine, okay? And I control what happens here. but it has to come from a mental place of healthy emotional intelligence and feeling good about the abilities that I have to create music, and understand that I have my own place and I can create my own success. Somebody else's success is not taking away my success. So always remember that. Again, I know this is a little bit philosophical, but I do believe that it's really important for you as a music composer, as a creative being, as an artist in general, to always remind yourself that you're a unique individual, okay? And these feelings are normal, and we all experience them from time to time. In the beginning stages, it could be a little bit more toxic, but you can get past through those feelings. Again, thanks a lot for all the love and support. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. If you're new to this channel, go and check all the other videos I have concerning stock music and royalty-free libraries. If you're somebody that is new to music licensing and royalty-free libraries, download my free guide, link in the description. And as always, rock and roll, and here's to your success.